Oh, it looks like it's working this time. All right. Take two is working. So here's what we're going to do today. We are going to do something a little bit different. I have gotten one of my business partners, Greg. He's a part of our organization. He's agreed to let me go into his KV core and critique some of the conversations that he's been having via text and email from the prospects that we've been helping him and bringing in for him into his pipeline using our selective sequencing system. And the goal of this is to find where he may be unknowingly sabotaging his results, and hopefully you can learn from those things as well. Let me know before we get going. Let me know if you can hear me and see the screen. And why is it saying? Oh, it updated, but it didn't update the title. Yes, well, we're going to go ahead and roll with it today. I'll update that after the fact. I know the take one was working on a different platform, but it wasn't working in the group, and that's the number one priority. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to critique some conversations and give you some principles to remember when you're texting or emailing with potential clients, with prospects and leads, so that you don't unknowingly sabotage your results with the work that you are doing. And my guess is Greg is not the only one struggling with some of these items. So let me know. Let me see here. I'm just making sure we are good. All right, Michelle and Frank, thank you. Thank you. Good stuff. All right, so let's go to screen share. And we'll bring up, I've got Greg's KV core loaded up here. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't matter what you're using to have these conversations, right? It's about the, what we're saying, not the platform we're saying these things on. So I'm going to pull up this one. I think this is one I had looked at before. Okay. So this is a prospect that came into Greg's pipeline using our new construction selective sequencing system. That's a mouthful. And so this is all of the automation. Okay, so I want to avoid a condo if possible. So this person didn't respond to the first day of questions, but did reply here. So he said, I want to avoid a condo if possible. Also interested in a HUD type home. So this was Greg's response. Okay. And on the surface, and I don't know if I can enlarge this so you can read this. Yeah, I can. Well, somewhat. No, that didn't work. So on the surface, this seems kind of innocuous. Okay. But it's long. And it's also this last thing here. This here is serving absolutely no purpose. So he's saying, and Greg, I'm not picking on you. I'm not being mean, because I'm sure lots of people are doing similar things that are unknowingly sabotaging. This sentence here needs to go. You're welcome to log in at this site too and search for any criteria you would like. There's a couple reasons why that sentence serves no purpose. Number one, you're making yourself like everybody else. You're making yourself like a commodity. They can go and do that at Trulia, at Zillow, on Realtor, and any number of other sites. They can go and just search properties, any criteria they'd like. So we're unknowingly in that instance making ourselves like everybody else. Okay, it's not helping us create connection and authority and build rapport. And it just makes this seem non-conversational. It breaks the pattern. This isn't a natural text communication that you would have with a friend or family member, something like that. Okay. So removing that sentence, okay, which Greg, if you're listening, I see that you do that a lot. Eliminate. Okay. He says, sounds good, Mike. Thanks for reaching out and letting me know. I'll get your search changed by tomorrow, latest. What's your goal for a move date? Okay, now we're getting better. Okay, so I'm going to actually open up, whoops. I'm going to open up a doc. What happened here? I'm going to open up a doc and we'll, and on the surface, some of the things that I'm going to show you, they seem like little innocuous details. I promise you, I'm sure you've heard it. The devil is in the details. I don't even know what that means, actually. I mean, the devil, I guess you're fighting the devil. If your details aren't good, then the devil will come get you. I don't know. But but the small things become the big things. I did a little critique for one of our members yesterday on some of his marketplace, his Facebook Messenger conversations. And on the surface, it seemed like to him, he was doing everything right. And he was certainly taking action. And I love that. But there were little details here and there that were keeping him from actually getting tangible results. He was having all these conversations, but we weren't getting anybody pre-approved and out looking at homes. And so, if you've known me for any period of time, you know that I am like massive action, massive action, massive action. But there's a word missing in there, massive right action, massive right. You have to do the right things in the right order in the right way. Frank, look at this. FYI, since you added some follow-up to my new construction campaign, so Frank is another guy who's, one of our partners in our organization, and we had set up a campaign with him, but this was, this was a few months ago, and we built out the full system for him recently. Once I kind of got all of it dialed in and figured out. Am I not sharing my screen again? Let me share my screen again. I don't know what happened with that. Not sure. There we go. So anyway, since we updated all of that, I have one listing appointment and they also want to buy a home. I also have 2 clients who both have been responding every time I message them, who are looking at new 55 and older communities starting at $280 and a 3% commission. Cha-ching. Bingo, bango. All right. Back to Greg's message here. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the old strike through. Can I do a strike through on this? Trying to get fancy here. There we go. So we're going to strike that out. And then what's your goal for a move date? Again, it seems on the surface, it seems like a good way to frame this question. In my opinion and experience, I would say, when are you thinking about making a move? What's your goal for a move date? That sounds like very tactical and strategy and like, and again, it's a little thing can make a big deal. So when are you thinking about making a move? That's not making any sort of commitment. This feels like if I answer this, I am committing to something and I may not be ready to do that yet. Like I'm making a big leap of faith and I've got this all planned out. This is much easier for them to answer. This feels daunting for them to answer for most people if you put yourself in the consumer's goal. So here's how I would take this updated. Here's how I would do this. Sounds good, Mike, is fine. Thanks. I'll get your search updated ASAP. Just curious. When are you thinking about making a move. Now, that's how I would do this generally. Okay, and please, 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 I hope you, those of you who are watching, understand how important this is. Like, on the surface, you're like, these two things are not that much different. I can guarantee you, over time, drastically different results, right? From one conversation, it's not a big deal. But if we have one of these conversations a day, 365 days a year, that alone could mean a difference of an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 transactions a month. Little hinges swing big doors. Little hinges swing big doors. All right. Now, beyond that, though, this particular person said something also interested in HUD type home. Instead, we could have taken this completely different. We might have just said, gotcha. You mentioned a HUD type. You mentioned being interested in a HUD type home. Tell me more about that. That is one of the best phrases that you can use, whether you're on the phone, by email, or texting. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. Yeah, we're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath house in CV schools. Oh yeah, that's great. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. Yeah, that's, so we affirm. Tell me more about that. Okay. I hope you guys are is this helpful? Let me know with a thumbs up and in the comments. Is this helpful? Because I just hope you, and I don't mean you, Greg, just everyone understands how valuable or important some of these little things can be. Yeah, we got to change that language about what's the goal for moving, Greg. I think you're going to get, because it seems like people are not responding after you say that. When I ask that, I don't know the numbers, but I get a significant amount of response. I did. Wow, pricey for so far. I'm not sure. So for this one, I may have simply said, I probably would have just simply said, what price range are you looking to stay around? I would have said, yeah, I agree. Things are crazy right now, or the market's really hot right now. What price range are you looking to stay around? Okay. So I did. Wow, pricey so far. Yeah, I totally get that, Holly. You know, the market's really hot right now. What price range are you looking to stay around? Okay. I can virtually guarantee that if she responded here and we said that back, we would have gotten another message, because she responded here, we responded here, and then crickets. Crickets. She ghosted us. What's the deal? Right? These little things, they make a huge difference. Let's see here. So this is one that there was actually some back and forth. Okay, this is you know, this is a longer term. So Greg, the other thing to consider is like this text right here, where you say, that's great. What part of Oregon? I have a couple of friends in that area. It's beautiful. When do you plan on moving there? Even though that's short, there's a lot of different things in there. What part? I have some friends. When are you thinking? One question, right? One question. So so how I would have done it is, that's great. What part of Oregon, parentheses, I have a couple of friends in that area. It's beautiful. Or, that's great. When are you planning on making a move there? Okay. Again, little things that can make a big difference. Let's see if we can find. This is great. This is perfect. So they didn't respond, but you handled this one great, Greg. Hi, sorry, who is this? Greg, with guy named Greg eXp Realty. You had asked to receive the list of Riverton new construction homes. Did you get the list? They didn't respond, but you handled that super. That's a perfect example of how to handle a response or a reply like that. Okay, what about the realtor already? Okay, and Greg didn't reply after that. I never assume that that's actually the case. Okay, and so that never throws me off the scent. Speaking of which, that was an analogy that I had intended to use today, and I forgot. So maybe I'll drop it in here. And I do have to wrap up in probably about 5 minutes or less, because I have an 11 o'clock strategy Zoom session. So I would love the list, but just so you know, I have a realtor already. Okay, so how would you? I would love to hear in the comments. How would you respond to that? How would you respond to that? First of all, I certainly would have sent them the list. And by the way, for new construction, the way you can get that list is with a resource that our one and only Lisa Kelly made me aware of, newhomesourceprofessional.com. Newhomesourceprofessional.com. You can create a free account there as an agent, and you can use it. It's a great little tool and asset that you can use with new construction properties. So, any thoughts or ideas on how to handle? I just would ignore it personally. I would just ignore it. If the conversation continued, I might ask them a question to get them to think about, is that person providing value for you? So I might ask something like, oh, yeah, I see. So I'm assuming that that the realtor you're working with, they're putting together off-market opportunities for you, properties that aren't listed in the MLS or Zillow or Realtor.com, something of that nature. Or has that realtor let you know about all of the special financing programs that are available in our market right now? Or now, that's if you get to a point where you get you're ready to get a little bit, not confrontational, but at least challenging them door. Or you could also say, oh, that's great. What's the name of the realtor you're working with currently? Okay. And by asking them, so you never want to ask, this is a great lesson. I can't remember who I learned this from. You never want to ask if someone is working with a realtor. They're always going to say, oh yeah. But if you ask them, what realtor or what real estate agent are you working with? Then they're like, Bill, he's my neighbor, right? And then you can see, because that is a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism more often than not. Michelle, this is great, Michelle. Great. I often have listings that have not hit the MLS yet. Would you like me to notify you of them directly or tell your realtor? That's great, Michelle. Thank you for sharing that. That is top shelf. So here's what I was going to say. I'm going to work in this analogy one way or another, because I got to come in for a landing. When you do things like the original reply that I had showed that was kind of lengthy and sent people to the search site and did that, what you're doing is you're throwing people off the scent, right? If you've ever gone hunting, and I've only done it a couple of times, and I've never shot anything other than clay birds. But when you go out hunting for deer, the last thing you want to do is spook the deer, right? You don't want to spook them. You don't want to get them to run off. And when you do things like that, when you have these lengthy, detailed replies, or where there's like multiple ideas in one reply, and this works for text or email or messenger or Facebook comments, like one thought, succinctly communicated, short and sweet, conversational, like you would send to a friend or family member. When you do that, you keep them on the scent. You're drawing them in, right? When you break that, you spook them. You spook them and you scare them off, and then who knows if you'll ever get them back, right? You've lost all the work that you've put in to get to that point. Okay. So was this helpful? Was this useful? Please let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was useful and helpful. I know I didn't give you like a specific script, but we actually kind of did. I kind of gave you a couple of different things that you can use, and strategies you can use, and language patterns you can use, and so forth. Lisa, great. Her response, I think this is for if you have a real, there's some awesome realtors in our area. Who are you working with? Then I would say, would you still like to enjoy my weekly Lakeland happenings and events? Right on. They usually say yes. Bomb. Keep my name in front of them weekly. Beautiful. Doreen, you're very welcome. Michelle gave me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay. Thanks, everybody. If you need any help with any of this stuff and you would like to explore what it looks like to work with us as either a consulting client or to partner with us, go to selectivesequencing.com, selectivesequencing.com. I appreciate you all for being here. Hope you have a great day. If there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to ask. Take care.